Hello everyone, Pallytime here. We're back in Diablo 3 today. I'm on my Witch Doctor, probably for the final guide I'm going to be doing for him for a little while. This is the build, or a variation of the build, that I use to do some insane damage numbers on Torment 1. I mean, killing bosses in a matter of seconds. And I know it's only Torment 1, but considering I only have a few hours in this character, honestly, it was a pretty good accomplishment, I felt like. If we go ahead and look at my skills, I'll go over them very quickly. And I'm also going to tell you things you can change to make this build fit other situations. So the main emphasis of this build is boosting your damage output substantially. And in order to do that, we are using the Piranha. We've talked about this before. It summons a tornado of piranhas, and anything that gets caught in it gets a fish attached to its head and then takes 15% more damage. Also, to increase our damage output, we have Mass Confusion with the Paranoia rune. Now, anything that gets hit with Mass Confusion, anything in the area takes an additional 20% damage. So we're already talking about an increase of 35% damage just from these two abilities. So you drop this, anything in that circle takes 20% more damage. You hit him with the piranhas, 35% more damage. Also, to go along with this, we have Big Bad Voodoo with Slam Dance, adding another 30% damage to all allies in the circle. So we drop this, any friendly unit in this circle now deals 30% more damage. If you're also attacking enemies that you've hit with Mass Confusion and Piranhas, that is a 65% damage increase. Now, I am using the Fetish Army with the Legion of Daggers. It summons in all the Munchies. And they also deal more damage from the 2 debuffs and deal increased damage from the Big Bad Voodoo. We're also using the Gargantuan, but with the Wrathful Protector rune. This makes him only last for 15 seconds, but he deals an absurd amount of damage. I took my gem out of my weapon. I sent it over to my Witch Doctor, or not my Witch Doctor, excuse me, my Demon Hunter, because I've been gearing him up. But with my character fully geared, I'm sitting at right about 1.2 million damage on my character sheet. And with that amount of damage, my Gargantuan is hitting for like 47, 48 million a swing if he crits, which is absurd. It's so good. Such a high amount of damage. Now, the variation, the part you probably would want to change depending on the scenario, would be your primary damage dealer. I'm using Firebomb with Ghost Bomb. You know, pretty basic ability. You throw it, it hits the whole area. With my gear, it's critting for a little over 1 million damage, but the reason I'm using it is because it doesn't cost a resource. I'm able to just spam it. It doesn't cost a resource at all. Really, really easy, really simple ability to use. Another ability you might want to check out would be Fire Bats with the Vampire Bats rune. This allows you to send bats out around you. Now, the reason I don't like this one in particular is because you're going to have to be moving with this build. You're going to have to be pretty mobile. And if you have to stop to recast Fire Bats, you're eventually going to run out of mana like I am right now. And you don't really have a good way to get that mana back. So having actually a primary damage skill, I think, is the better way to go. As far as passives go, we are using Tribal Rites, decreases the cooldown on our Big Bad Voodoo and our Gargantuan, which are the... Oh, and it does the Fetish Army as well. So our 3 main abilities, it reduces the cooldown of them by 25%. So it allows you to use these 3 much more often. We're also using Grave Injustice. Every time you kill something within 20 yards, you gain 1% of your maximum mana and life back, and also take 1 second off of your cooldowns. There have been a wide number of situations where I've been able to kill stuff and instantly get my cooldowns back. They really do like to throw a lot of mobs at you in this expansion. Pierce the Veil is our other passive. I would recommend always keeping these 3. I highly recommend it. Highly recommend always keeping these 3 with this build, and I'll show you the variation for the 4th passive. But Pierce the Veil What it does is increase your damage by 20%, but increase your mana cost by 30%. But considering you're really not spending that much mana with this build, it's basically just a free damage increase. Really, really cool. Now, the fourth passive, I'm using the fetish thing. It allows you to summon fetishes when you deal physical damage. Your primary attack is a physical spell. So you can see I'm summoning these guys, and they'll just kind of fight by my side the whole time. And it'll be good. The variation to this would be... Well, let me explain why I use this first. They tank for you. Quite simply, they are always going to be around, and they're always going to be tanking for you. Basically makes it so you don't have to kite as much. This build was intended to be for group play, but adding in this passive makes it so you can easily do this by yourself. The other variation that I would recommend, obviously there are others, I would recommend putting in the Rush of Essence. Every time you cast a spirit spell, your mana regen goes up, and you would want to switch out your primary attack to be Spirit Barrage and Well of Souls. Now this is what I was using in that boss guide, or in that boss killing montage thing I did a little while ago. There's going to be a link to that in the video description so you actually know what I'm talking about. This is what I was using in that, but the problem is you don't really have a lot of time to stack up your mana regen, so I was still running out of mana, which is kind of why I took it off. I thought it was much more beneficial to actually use the Munchie passive and use the primary firebomb. Okay, so let's go see this in use again. Let's go see this in action again. Keep in mind, I don't have my normal gem here. You'd be adding 200,000, 300,000 damage to my character if I did. We will head into Act 4, the tried and tested Hell Rift Level 1. Makes it really, really easy to show off builds. This is by far my favorite build that I've come up with. Oh, I don't have my Nemesis bracers. I just moved them over. Damn it. This is by far my favorite build that I've come up with. Highly, highly, highly recommended. You can see I don't have anything to tank for me just yet, so if I get surrounded, we're just going to do a mass confusion. And I'm basically trying to summon in the munchies from my passive to come in and tank for me. We have some up here. Or is that from the mass confusion? I can't tell. Again, if they get too close, you can use the piranhas again to keep them back. The idea is you don't really have the big defensive cooldown of Spirit Rush, so if something gets too close, you want to mass confuse it. And then if something gets too close again, you want to suck it up with piranhas. Alright, we have one munchie here. That's all we need. That's all we need. Alright, I'm going to CC this guy with piranhas. We should be... Did I change my... I'll also show you guys what my Paragon level setup is. It should be all attack speed. If you wanted your fetishes, your munchies, if you wanted them to do more damage, you would want to put a red gem in your weapon. It basically increases the physical damage output, and they're all physical damage. Also, having physical damage increases on your gear would be pretty good. Alright, so you've seen how it works. We've my phone's buzzing. That's a professional. We've summoned in a fairly decent amount of minions. Let's go ahead and bring in the Gargantuan. I can show you how hard he hits if he decides to crit. He's not going to. Well, here's the boss. Let's pop our damage cooldowns, and he's dead. Like, it's so ridiculous, the burst damage that this thing offers. And if you're thinking about it more, it's also fantastic for group play because you're debuffing and buffing everyone around you. Or you're debuffing the enemies around you and buffing every ally around you. So you're going to be able to have a ton of team utility. You also have two forms of crowd control with the Mass Confusion and the Sharknado. Really, 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 really good build. Really, really easy build to pull off. And it's just really satisfying when you do that astounding amount of burst damage. I really enjoy it. So my Paragon level set up. My munchies should be able to kill everything. I have move speed going on in the core tree simply because I need to kite away from things. We have attack speed in the offensive tree. I have life regeneration. If you're dying a lot to spells, you would want resist all. But life regeneration is good for me because I have gold find instead of life on hit. Because I don't know if you've noticed, I'm broke as fuck. Gearing out characters apparently is really hard on my bank account. Let's go ahead and... I want to kill another boss. Where can we go to do that? Oh, let's do Gardens of Hope Tier 1. I'll just run straight to the boss, and we'll take him down really fast. You know, just in case you needed more convincing that the damage output on this particular setup is a little ridiculous. Now, things to do to make this better. On your gear. Oh, shit. Drop all the crowd control, drop all the damage. We should plow right through these guys. They have a little bit of vortex action going on. They're health linked. Is this 2 blue packs or just 1? It was just 1. So they died relatively easy. And because of the Grave Injustice passive, I mean, look at the cooldown on our Fetish Army and the Big Bad Voodoo. I mean, they're ready again. They're ready again because we killed so many enemies there. Fantastic. But things you can do to increase the damage on this would either be to up the damage of your Fetish Army, which I would recommend, or to up the damage of your Gargantuan on your gear. Let's see. I actually probably don't have any examples of that. Oh, I thought I switched out over to Firebomb. Oh, I'm looking so bad right now. Anyway, my gear isn't terribly optimized for this build, obviously. But setting it up right, I mean, it can be absolutely astounding. I'm not going to bother with the Cursed Chest. I just want to show off the damage burst one more time on a boss. I mean, he's going to die in about 5 seconds flat. And that's with my damage lowered from not having a gem in my weapon. This build is so much fun. I can't recommend it anymore. But I am going to be working on my Demon Hunter for a little while at least. I'm trying to keep... Yeah, let's go ahead and drop the burst. I'm trying to keep all of my characters around the same, like, skill level, I guess. I want them all around 1,000,000 damage. I want them all to be able to solo effectively. And right now, my Witch Doctor is pretty far ahead of the pack. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, you know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back soon with probably some Demon Hunter videos. I also have my Crusader at level 70, but to be totally honest, I still don't have a clue what I'm doing with that character. It's just kind of all over the place. Thank you all for watching. Okay, bye.